What is going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today?
Hello.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on wherever you are in the world.
Wherever you are in the world.
Yeah. Welcome to Face Mask Fantasy. You already know. My name is John.
There.
That's Nick.
That's me.
And today, we are talking about quarterbacks.
We're talking about Instagram is what we're talking about.
Tell him, dude.
We're going on the gram. We're going on social media. We're doing a deep dive based off of what was probably a drunk Instagram post last night, because that's the way I like to use the internet, and we are here for it. But
we're obviously talking about Aaron Rodgers.
That is the guy. That is the focal point of not just what we're talking about today, but what pretty much everybody in the sports world is talking about today. Everybody on all the talking heads on ESPN and wherever else you might get your information for sports is talking about. He went on the Pat McAfee show for his regular Tuesday segment today.
Yep.
First time since the playoff loss. Said he needed to, I think he took a few weeks off or a month off, however long it's been.
I think he went to like a spiritual center, and
that would make a lot of sense.
Went on a spiritual retreat. He called it a
cleanse
karma or something, and he said it was like 12 days long. A couple of times he said that. So yeah, he got cleansed in ancient Indian fashion,
as he wants to do sometimes.
There you go.
But yeah, Rodgers posted a cryptic Instagram post last night. I'm sure everybody's familiar with it right now, but thanking a bunch of people, thanking his what I think is his ex-fiance, even though I don't know what that situation is, but thanking old teammates and current teammates. To me, just to actually kick this conversation off, I think Aaron Rodgers has played his last game in Green Bay. I think that's basically what he was alluding to last night. What some of the words that he used, some of the language, I'll cherish.
We've been speculating that for a long time. It was pretty much. I'm not going to go up to 80%, but everybody knew it was like 75, pretty much a 75% chance.
It feels higher than that now. It feels higher than that now because he took time to say. Cherish the memories we've made. Cherish the memories we've made. What's up, Will? That is language that is like, I'm out. I'm gone.
Yeah. No,
you don't say that and then come back, right?
He's out.
I wouldn't be hitting up all of my friends being like, if I was like say,
no, he hasn't done this any other year. That's what I point to. This is the first time he's done something like this. He hasn't done it any other year. Take out the speculation of everything else. Just the fact that he felt the need to do this.
Right.
Means he's out. Yeah,
I think he's gone. I think he's done. So go ahead and, I don't know, try to get Jordan Love for a 4th round pick or something. Don't actually do that.
No.
Don't actually do that.
No, what you should be doing is going out and trading for AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones.
Yeah, those two are seemingly going to be the focal points of the offense now.
They have to be.
And Davante Adams appears likely to stay there because the Packers are they're probably just going to franchise tag him, which means if he chooses to play, and I don't even know why I led off with that, but weirder things have happened. But like, he's gonna be catching passes from either Jordan Love, or if the Packers like call that a lost cause and draft a quarterback this year. But like, how much better can we feel about whoever, like an incoming rookie, supporting what we are used to seeing as the top 3 wide receiver for fantasy purposes? So actually, we can kind of segue.
Considering the quarterback that I'm most hype on, Malik Willis, coming into this draft is more like a Lamar Jackson in that he's not going to be, you're going to be looking at maybe one productive fantasy option. And
it could be Devontae, or it would be Devontae.
It would be Devontae, but he would have a ceiling.
Yeah.
Whereas with Aaron Rodgers, his ceiling was best in the league. Now I think it's going to be, he's probably going to, might look more like Mike Evans than what we're normally used to seeing from Devontae Adams. Yeah.
So to the first question, is Devontae Adams a sell?
He's been a sell to me for a while.
Yeah, he's probably a sell. Here's the problem. After that post, I have to think his value might have just took a bit of a hit. Because everybody, except for maybe the most diehard of Packers fans, or diehard Aaron Rodgers Packers fans, are taking that and assuming he's either playing somewhere, Rodgers is either playing somewhere else next year or retiring.
Yeah, that was the big question. Is he retired?
Like,
I think everybody at this point knows that he's not staying in Green Bay after doing something like this.
Yeah,
the big question was whether or not he was going to be playing football at all next year. And I still think he is.
He could.
I think he is.
I mean, he's definitely got plenty of unfinished business if you are of the belief that he wants to win at least one more Super Bowl. But with Devontae Adams, I mean, yeah, I would say he's a sell, and I guess you could call it a sell high, because he himself is still in his, he's still in his prime. He's still very good. I would
almost say Devontae Adams, you might want to hold.
I was going to say,
because
you're not going to
pay. Nobody's going to pay high-end wide receiver 1 value. Like,
you're not going to get
what it's going to take to. Yeah.
If you have Devontae Adams, I think
I would hold.
Yeah, unless you can swindle somebody, which
unless somebody still values, unless you can trick somebody into thinking Aaron Rodgers really does have a chance to stay there.
Or you just, here's what you do. Like, this is your talking point. When who was the other backup quarterback that played for the Packers a couple of years ago when Rodgers went down?
Matt Flynn?
No, it wasn't Flynn. There was somebody else in there. And Adams, it was when like Jordy Nelson was still on the team, I think. Adams put up some pretty good numbers despite some pretty bad quarterback play. Who was that? I'm blanking on this now.
I think his name starts with a B, but I think I remember who you're talking about. Yeah.
I think he wore like number 7 or something. Anyway, he wasn't good.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Brett Hundley.
That's it.
Right?
Huntley.
Yeah.
Huntley. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
With Huntley.
Back for that one.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Kudos to you for remembering that. With Huntley, Adams put up some respectable numbers. Now, this was 4 or 5 years ago at this point. So Adams
he's
is
still
at
the top of his game. I don't think that's in question. I think he,
for dynasty purposes, though, obviously, 5 years ago is a big is different. So,
Will, if you're thinking me, I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna go down to LA and kick you in the face.
That's rude. That's just rude. I think Adams. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get the package that you would have gotten like at the big, like this time last year. But if you're willing to, like, quote unquote, cut your losses, not that Adams is a cut your losses type of player, but given the situation, if you're willing to take what is likely to be less than what you would normally get for a player of his caliber, because you're worried about the uncertainty.
Yeah, if he's really the only guy you have on your team that was putting up a lot of points, if everything was pointing to you should be going rebuild, and you're just at the point with Devontae Adams where you can sell and get what you can get, sure.
No question.
But if you're at all even towards the middle of the pack or just outright a contender, He's a hold. There's no reason to sell him.
I mean, if you're feeling good about your team top to bottom anyway, might as well. Yeah,
his floor is
I can
still,
see rolling the dice on just keeping him.
His floor is still wide receiver 1. It's just not elite top 2, top 3 wide receiver. It's more like top 10, top 11, top 12 wide receiver. But
yeah,
still a value for sure.
Still a value, like still just a damn good player, you know.
Yeah, and consequently, Jordan Love. To the next question here, Kenneth, what's going on?
What's up, Kenneth?
Jordan Love starting QB? Yeah, I think so. I think
guess.
Probably 80% chance he's the starting QB.
Yes,
but he's not going to be one that you should be investing in any sort of fantasy leagues. Any.
I don't think so. I mean, if your team is in the complete toilet and you want to take a chance on like a young quarterback in a super flex league, like all right, I guess.
If you can give up like a late third,
a fourth
in Superflex just to get him on your team, just to see, because you never know what happens at quarterback. You know, maybe 2 of your starters are injured, and you need to go to a guy like Jordan Love. You never know.
Right, you might need he might be fine for a spot start.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. That's why late third, something like that. 401, something like that.
Yeah, and that would be as high as I'd be willing to go. If the Jordan Love, you know, if whoever has Jordan Love wants more, it's like, okay, you can just keep him.
Yeah. I'm not going to overvalue him just because he has a youth. That doesn't mean he's good.
I mean, he certainly has the inside track to start. I mean, you just have to look at Green Bay's kind of history as far as bringing in free agents or outside names. They're not a team. They're not an organization that really does that.
That was Aaron Rodgers' whole grudge with them before
that
this
was
past
one of the
season.
issues.
I mean, they were cutting guys that were good because their contracts ran out and they were going to have to pay up to get them. In that one press conference, he mentioned Micah Hyde, I believe, who went on to the Bills and is one of the best safeties in the league. He mentioned, of course,
Randall Cobb, Brian Balaga. They let him go.
Even just letting Jordy Nelson go.
Jordy Nelson
did latch on to the Raiders and
he was clearly done, but like Rodgers, I guess, valued him as a locker room guy.
And even Jake Kumaro, he got mad that Jake Kumaro was let go. I mean,
look, that's like a double-edged sword because it's like, okay, you want them to be players in free agency, but like the Packers try and true to their process of like sticking with the draft. Was Kumaro one of their draft picks? He started.
I believe so. Either that or an undrafted free agent.
I mean, you know, no disrespect to Jake Kumaro, but he didn't crack the Bills rotation really either. You know, look, I know I'm not a quarterback these guys aren't my teammates, but like, so there might be other reasons why Rodgers likes these guys and wants to keep them around, but he's not the GM. Now if
he wants to go to a place where he can be.
Well, sure. But it's like, okay, if these guys do move on, but you don't replace them with better players who you could spend the money on that you're saving from letting these guys walk, if you're not spending that money in free agency, then yeah, your star quarterback's probably not going to be happy about that. And that's exactly the situation we find themselves in. So to kind of wrap this all back up, I don't see like that. Based off of their track record, I don't know that the Packers are going to be players in this quarterback carousel that everybody's expecting this year.
I don't think so.
I think it is going to be Jordan Love.
You're looking at somebody like Mitchell Trubisky.
Sure,
somebody who's not going to cost him much and is really just brought in to compete, but could be better than Jordan Love and start ahead of Jordan Love.
There's speculation that Trubisky's going to get a solid contract this year.
I think he should.
He's going to get a solid contract as a starter. Yeah. I don't see the Packers.
We can talk about him later.
We can talk about him later.
Yep.
I don't see the Packers going that route, but I do. I have no reason to believe that as not good, I have to assume the vibes generally are for Jordan Love, like in all football circles. I gotta think he's the starter.
No, I mean, look what Green Bay did last season. They had an out. They had a way out. Aaron Rodgers didn't want to be there last season, and they said, wait, just come back for one more season. We'll bring in Randall Cobb. We'll help you out. Bring in your buddy.
Yeah, we'll hire your coaches.
We'll do whatever you want to
back.
do. Make you happy. Stay one more season,
and
then just see how things go.
Yeah.
If they felt any confidence in Jordan Love, they would have moved on from Aaron Rodgers a year.
They would have called Rodgers bluff. I mean, you're talking about a Hall of Famer versus an unknown, but yeah, I think Love's going to be the guy. As for Hurts, he's going to start somewhere. I think he's going to start somewhere, whether it's the Eagles or if the Eagles. Now the Eagles, you want to switch gears to a team who is very much expected, despite what they say, to be in the quarterback sweepstakes, for better or worse. I think the Eagles are going to be players. They're going to at least test the waters on anybody who's potentially available. That being said, if they will find a way to improve, and if it's in the way of a trade, Hurts will start for wherever he's traded to. If the Eagles decide to just move forward with Hurts because the market doesn't go the way that they thought, and just the dominoes don't fall the way that they thought, Hurts will be their guy for 2022. I don't think I have to double check Gardner Minshew's contract. I'm not sure if he's a free agent or not.
I can tell you in a second.
That would actually be a good piece of information that I should know. I'm checking right now. I'm checking Spot Track. But regardless, Hurts would have to be. Oh, he's under contract for one more season. Minshew's under contract for one more season.
There you go.
I think he's a trade candidate, to be honest.
I mean, there's no reason to get rid of Jalen Hurts. He
not
low
yet.
cap hit.
Yeah,
$2
right.
million for the next 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Right.
Those are
and everybody knows that
team
2023 is going to be a better quarterback draft class.
That's the expectation.
So Jalen Hurts is probably going to be with the team this year.
I would,
unless they go all out for one of these other free agent or trade candidate guys like Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson. I think they're staying with Jalen Hurts for one more year.
That's where I would bet my money on. Would be that Hurts is the Eagles quarterback for one more season. They use the first round picks to try to build around him. Maybe they get another wide receiver. Hurts is going to have to prove a lot to prove that he sticks, that he belongs as a starter in this league, because he still has a long way to go in that regard. But if he's the guy going into 2022, I feel fine about him for fantasy. I feel fine. He's going to be more expensive this year in redraft, and I'm going to be less interested there. But if I've already got him in Dynasty,
because I feel like the whole fantasy community is a little bit down on Jalen Hurts right now.
Yeah, they just don't think, like, for long term, for dynasty purposes, they don't think he's a long term answer. So yeah, but if I already have him on my team for dynasty, I feel fine. Whether it's one quarterback or super flex, like, he can get it done. He can get it done. In redraft, I might be a little less interested in him because his price is going to be higher than it was last year, most likely, because he finished as a QB1. But I think he starts. I think he starts for the Eagles, and I'll call it a 5% to 5 to 10, we'll say, maybe 5 to 7 or 8% chance that he does get traded in a big move. He's probably going to get a chance to start for wherever he ends up. So yeah, I think he starts in 2022. If you have him in Dynasty, if you're worried about his long-term outlook, just hope that he pops off early. And then you can trade him if you're still not feeling his long-term prospects. Like, maybe he's running all over the place, but he's still not showing too much development as a passer.
He's young enough where I do believe he will have some sort of future in the league after Philadelphia too, even if he stays for one season. So when we're talking Dynasty, he might not have a 10 to 12 year shelf life. But I think, the next 3 years, if you need a quarterback for the next 3 years, I think he'll for sure be a starter for at least the next 2. And he could going forward even after that. So I think you can capitalize on the way that people think about Jalen Hurts right now. Because if we're talking about, if we're talking about, some of these quarterbacks that are coming up for discussion, if we're talking about Mitchell Trubisky, retread, going to be in talks to be a starter. Mariota is in talks to be a starter.
Somebody, he's getting some buzz.
Right, and Mitchell Trubisky was a pretty decent fantasy quarterback 3 years ago.
His second year, his first full season as the starter, because he was running. Yeah.
Right, and Jalen Hurts, same kind of guy, with more of a rushing floor. So he's gonna have a job in the future.
Yeah.
So I think that he is somebody that you can buy even in Dynasty and kind of use the narrative on him to force a buy low situation.
It's not a bad idea. Yeah. Will he be a starter 5 years from now? 3 years from now?
5 years from now? I don't know. 3 years from now? Probably.
Yeah. He should be somewhere. Somebody's going to give him a chance if it's not the Eagles.
Yeah.
Gotta think so. Yeah. But anyway,
and
we can move on. We got
sold Derrick Henry for Stephon Diggs in 2 seconds and a third. All right.
I love that.
Yeah, if you got tons of running backs already,
fantastic.
That's great for you. Pick up 2 seconds.
That. I like Derrick. I have failed to get on the Derrick Henry train for 3 years straight, and